Hello everyone. I'm happy to be with you today. Today we'll be studying 2 Corinthians chapter 3. Let's begin. Do we begin again to commend ourselves, or need we, as some others, epistles of commendation to you, or letters of commendation from you? So evidently, there was other people that were teaching and preaching to the Corinthians that asked for letters of commendations when they went somewhere else. Now, with Paul, that wasn't necessary because he started the church at Corinth. He loved them. Yea, are our epistle written in our hearts, known and read of all men, for as much as ye are manifestly declared to be the epistle of Christ, ministered by us, written not with ink, but with the Spirit of the living God, not in tablets of stone, but in fleshly tablets of the heart. And such trust have we through Christ to Godward. Now that we are sufficient of ourselves to think anything as of ourselves, but our sufficiency is of God, who also hath made us able ministers of the New Testament, not of the letter, that's the law, but of the Spirit. For the letter killeth, but the Spirit gives life. Letter's the Old Testament, the Spirit's the New Testament. But if the ministration of death, written and engraved in stones, he's referring to the Ten Commandments written and engraved in stones, was glorious, so that the children of Israel could not steadfastly behold the face of Moses for the glory of his countenance, which glory was to be done away with. Now, Moses spent time with God, and when he came down off the mountain, the glory of God shined on his face, and the people saw it, and they knew that he was in the presence of God. How shall not the ministration of the Spirit be rather glorious? For if the ministration of condemnation be glory, that's Old Testament law, much more doeth the ministration of righteousness exceed in glory, that's the New Testament. For even that which was made glorious had no glory in this respect, by reason of the glory that excellence. For if that which is done away was glorious, the old law was done away with, much more that which remaineth is glorious. Seeing then that we have such hope, we use great plainness of speech. For not as Moses, which put a veil over his face, that the children of Israel could not steadfastly look on the end that which is abolished. The Old Testament law was abolished. Okay? When Christ died on the cross, it says that the veil in the temple, the veil that kept people from seeing the Holy of Holies, was torn from the top to the bottom, and the Holy of Holies was exposed. That ended temple worship. Because if you would look upon the ark, the Holy of Holies, in that special holy room, you would be consumed. All right, verse 14. But their minds were blinded, For until this day remaineth the same veil untaken away in the reading of the Old Testament, which veil is done away in Christ. So Christ the Messiah came to deliver the Jewish people from the Old Testament law. But even unto this day, when Moses is read, the veil is upon their heart. Nevertheless, when it shall turn to the Lord, the veil shall be taken away. So these Old Testament believers that still believed the law after Christ was crucified, they're still teaching parts of the law to Christians. It's because they have a veil over their heart. They can't see it. But when they do see it, it's the veil then is taken away and they can see plainly. Now the Lord is that Spirit. And where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. So under the law, the old covenant, there wasn't liberty. Under the new covenant, Jesus Christ, the Spirit of Jesus, gives us liberty. But we all, with open face, beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord, are changed into the same image, from glory to glory, even as by the Spirit of the Lord. So he's saying, you can even look in a mirror and you can see yourself being changed by the Spirit of God. The Spirit of God that's in the New Testament. In the Old Testament, believers were not filled with the Spirit of God. They lived under the law and they got their salvation by keeping the law. In the New Testament, believers are filled with the Spirit. Their spirit is reborn. They're born agains. Okay? And that Spirit brings them from glory to glory. So they grow from one point to the next point by the Spirit of God. Christians are supposed to grow. They're not to remain baby Christians. They're to grow from glory to glory. And that's the way you get closer to God. By the Spirit of the Lord. That's how important the Spirit of the Lord is. It changes you. Okay. That concludes chapter 3. I'll see you next time. God bless you.